Congratulations, you are halfway through your summer golden journey. And I wanted to take this opportunity to tell you what an honor and a privilege it is to be walking with you and supporting you on this path to transformation. And I just wanted to read something from the beginning of the book, Your Golden Journey, that I have shared. And this is a great time for me to just kind of pause where we are together and to say this to you. As your guide and teacher on this journey, I want you to know that if you are holding this book, I believe our paths were meant to cross. I believe if you are thirsty for inspiration, you will find it. If you are willing to open to growth and change, this journey will transform you. I believe that life is a gift and an extraordinary adventure. And so we begin our 5th week looking back at week 4 with my favorite question by Mary Oliver that I have used as a mantra in my life and with so many of the people that I have worked with, had the privilege to work with. She asks, tell me, what is it you plan to do with your one wild, precious life? And I live this question and ask myself this throughout the days and chapters of my life. And as we begin looking at our week past, I started with giving bread. And it's such a beautiful story that Viktor Frankl tells when he was in the concentration camps about a guard who makes this gesture towards him of kindness, where he'd saved this little piece of bread to give him, and that it meant more than the fact he was starving and he needed food. But it was this gesture that made him feel hopeful, that there was love, even in the midst of this suffering. And so this teaching was really about, how do we give to others? How do we pull from our own pockets of life and experience and where we are and what we're doing and show a kindness to someone else? And how that act of kindness always is a greater gift back to ourselves. And this was just one of the many examples, but I want to walk through a couple of them with you this week that I feel define, like, for me, what gives my life meaning and purpose, and what makes my life precious and wonderful is my relationship with others and my ability to shed light on another person's path. And I kind of grow that out a little bit throughout the week when we talk about giving a garland of gratitude. The young girl who makes a point to tell her teacher thank you, and how her mom and her mother and father really, really taught her the value of gratitude. And it's such for this young, sweet person to remind us of, like, are we in our lives pausing to be grateful, and are we saying thank you to other people? Again, these small acts of kindness and gestures that give back to us 100-fold. I love the teaching as well on the healthy diet. And I can just share with you, for me, when I want to say, okay, I'm living this one wild, precious life, I have to be very careful about what I consume, because my consumption determines my health. And so when I talk about consumption, it's not that I chose spinach today over French fries, because sometimes French fries really make me happy. But I'm very careful about the books that I read and the news I watch, how much news I watch, social media. I'm very careful about the movies I watch. And I'm incredibly careful about the people I allow into my most inner circle. And because I know that is what I'm consuming in my mind and in my feelings and in my heart, and that becomes part of the fiber of who I am and how I'm able to express myself and live my life. So I just wanted to invite you to do a practice with me, kind of taking some of the teachings from the week and this powerful question by Mary Oliver to say, if you were able to be a beautiful ghost at your celebration of life and be present to sit with your family and friends as they are sharing stories about you and remembering you, what would they say? What would you hope that they would say? Would you hope that they were sharing stories of how you made them feel loved and made them feel special and seen and heard? Would you hope that they were laughing and sharing memories of adventures that you had together? Or would you be happy knowing that they remembered you as someone who was living a passionate life and inspired them through the way you showed up for your life? Whenever I share this with my friends and my students, I talk about that last breath, or I talk about a celebration of life when we can reflect on our one wild precious life. And I always say, oh, my hope is that I would be remembered as being a great lover of people, but also a great lover of life. Like, I loved what I drew in. I loved my home. I loved I loved the ocean. I loved the trees. I loved experiences. I loved working through my challenges. I want to be a great lover of all that I have considered a gift in my life. And so I invite you this week to write Mary's question somewhere where you will see it, and to have some time where you can take a little practice of meditation and reflection and think about having the opportunity to be at your celebration of life. And what would you hope that people were saying? What would you hope people were remembering? And then to go out today and live that.